Good morning, friends. Myself, Professor Dhaval Chandarana, and today we will discuss some more fundamental things through which we can understand a unit number 2 data models of a data management system subject. So, today we will discuss a integrity concept. In my personal point of view, whenever we need to know that what are the different constraints are available in a database, it's a really important thing that there are the different rules when we are creating a particular database with help of different kind of constraint. We can retrieve a particular unique data and we can maintain a integrity, because whenever we create a database, first we need to identify the different constraint. Based on a different concept, we define a two key components known as a security as well as integrity constraint. So integrity constraint, it's a really important concept of a data management subject as well as in a real life. It's a really important thing that what are the different sets of rules which is maintained by the DBMS, as well as what are the different sets of rules which are maintained by the DBA, or we can say database administrator. So today we will discuss integrity constraint. With help of different example, we can study a different kind of integrity constraint. Let's see, start with the basic introductions about a integrity constraint. So first we know that what is a integrity constraint. Integrity constraint are a sets of rules. First, a constraint means a sets of rules. It used to maintain the quality of informations, because there are lots of users use our particular database, as well as we can say that there are the lots of end users with help of our applications they are storing a particular informations. So there are the some kind of informations which are not required to store. So whenever we build some application, we need to manage a sets of rules. With help of sets of rules, we can maintain a quality of informations. Integrity constraint ensure that the data insertions, updations and other process have to be performed in a such a way that a data integrity is not affected. Means, as per previously I will explain that whenever we require a lots of data from the user sides, we need to manage a particular formations of data which are entered from the end user size. As per the requirement, integrity constraint is the most important key point of a data management system. જ્યારે આપણે કોઈ ડેટા પર્ટિક્યુલર ફોર્મેટ્સમાં લઈએ છીએ, ત્યારે એ પર્ટિક્યુલર ફોર્મેટ્સમાં જ કોઈ યુઝર્સ પર્ટિક્યુલર ડેટા નાખશે, એ મેનેજ કરવા માટે આપણે સેટ્સ ઓફ રૂલ્સ ડિફાઇન કરવા પડે છે, અને સેટ્સ ઓફ રૂલ્સ ડિફાઇન કરીએ છીએ એને કહેવાય છે ઇન્ટિગ્રિટી કન્સ્ટ્રેન્ટ. Thus, the integrity constraint is used to guard against the accidentally damage to a database. So it's a really important thing whenever a recovery is a case of a data management system. Various integrity constraints are check constraint, not null constraint, unique constraint, primary key constraint and a foreign key constraint. All the five is a really important constraints of a data management system subject, as well as whenever you build some real-time applications like a final semester project, you need to know what are the different constraints and how we implement all the constraints in our project. So please be focused on each and every constraint. Start with the check constraint. First, known as a check constraint. This constraint define a business rules on a column. All the row in that column must satisfy these rules. Means if we maintain a check constraint, so they can check a particular satisfies rules which are mentioned in a check constraints. Limits the data value of a variable to a specific sets, range or a list of value. Or we can say that if we need to manage a particular information with help of a specific set or a range, like we can say that if we getting informations of a mobile number, so we know that a 10 digit is the maximum number whenever any end user define a mobile number. So we provide a range of 0 to 10 digit. Means a maximum number of mobile number, it must be a 10 digit. We can't accept lower than 10 digit or a greater than 10 digit. So it is known as a check constraint. The constraint can be applied for a single column or a group of column. Means this constraint we can define all the way. If we want to mention a particular column, then also we can implement it. If you want to maintain all the column of a particular tables, or we can say group of column, then also we can manage with the check constraint. Example like value of SPI should be between 0 to 10, not less than 0, not greater than 10. So we need to we can specify a particular range whenever we store a SPI value of a particular student. So check constraint will help to provide a particular correction information from the end user side. Second thing, or second check integrity constraint, known as a not null. Name itself suggests that this constraint ensures that all row in a table contain a definitely value, or we can say define it a value for the column which is specified as not null, which means a null value is not allowed. Like we can say that password, it is one of the best example of a not null constraint. Whenever we require from the end user side username and password, and if some users not enter any password, then we can't create a particular account. Means they must be enter some of the specific value. They can't allow a blank value in a password text field. So not null is whenever we apply a not null constraint, user must be required to enter some of the informations. They can't leave the blank value. Example, name column should have a some value. Means if some users put a blank space on a name value, it should not be a work. Means you need to mention a sum of the key, or we can say words in a particular name text field. Third, known as a unique constraint. Integrity constraint maintain a uniqueness whenever we require to maintain a particular record must have specified a unique constraint. Means whenever we require some unique data from the all the datas, like if you store a 1000 record in a particular table and we need to find out some unique records based on particular attributes, at that time we are using a unique constraint. This constraint ensure that a column or a group of columns in each row have a distinct or unique value. Means a user can't enter a duplicate value for a particular attributes. So it's maintain a specific integrity constraint. It's really useful in real life. A columns can have a null value, but the value cannot be a duplicated. Means they can allow a null value, but the value cannot be a duplicated. Means if some user put a blank value on a single column, at a second time they can't enter a null value on a particular column. Example, enrollment number column should have a unique name, or we can say a unique value. Means all the students have a particular unique enrollment number. So if we want to check a particular enrollment number with help of unique constraint, we can easily check each and every enrollment number is a distinct or a unique. Fourth and a most important integrity constraint at my point of view, it is known as a primary key constraint. This constraint define a column or a combinations of columns which uniquely identify each row in the particular table, or we can say in a real time primary key column, it's a mandatory for a particular, or we can say each table, because with help of primary key constraint we can easily find a unique record from our database, or we can say a table. Primary key is known as a unique key plus not null concept, because they are defined a column values, not a duplicate value, and a user can't put a blank value on a particular primary key attributes. So we can easily say that primary key is the combinations of a unique key constraint as well as a not null concept. Example, enrollment number column should have a unique value as well as can't be a null value, because if someone student put a blank value on enrollment number, we can't find a blank value of a particular enrollment number. With help of a particular enrollment number, we can't find a particular unique record. So a enrollment number column, we provide a primary key constraint. So user must be enter some unique records, as well as they not put blank space in a particular enrollment number column. So as per defining, a primary key is the combinations of unique key, means all the user provide a some distinct value, as well as a user not put a blank value on a particular column. And the last one, it is known as a foreign key, or we can say referential integrity constraint. Referential integrity constraint is really useful whenever we use a relational model. As per my previous lecture, what are the relational model and how it works, if you have any doubts, then you found in my lecture number 7, unit number 2. So you can easily know that what are the relationship model. If we know that what is the relation model, so you can easily find that what is the requirement of foreign key constraint. A referential integrity constraint, or we can say foreign key constraint, is a specified between two tables. As per my previous mention said, if you want to understand what is the relation model, then you can easily understand what is a requirement of foreign key, or we can say referential integrity constraint. In the referential integrity constraint, if a foreign key column in a table 1 refer to the primary column of table 2, then every value of foreign key column in a table 1 must be null or be available in a primary key column of a table 2. I know it is somehow difficult to understand these 2 to 3 lines. Now we can easy to understand with help of example. Like department ID is a primary key, because you know that if we understand some of the attributes, so it is a primary key of particular attributes. So in a particular example, a table 1 have a department ID known as a primary key attributes, department name and HOD have a 2 different attributes. On a second table, roll number, it is a primary key attributes of this second table. Student name and department ID are the 2 different attributes of a table number 2. Now with help of primary key, department ID is a primary key of table number 1 and roll number of a table number 2 primary key. With help of 2 primary key, we can easily define a foreign key department ID in a second table. Now we understand these 2 lines. In the referential integrity constraint, if a foreign key column in a table 1, we can say that a department ID is a primary key of table 1, but a department ID work as a foreign key in second table. So one refers to the primary column like department ID of the table 2 work as a foreign key known as a department ID. Then every value of foreign key like 1 and 2, every value of foreign key column in a table 1 must be null or be available in a primary key. Means there are the value, you can see that department ID 1 and 2 are the value which are must be as a primary key table value. Means you can easily find that 1 in a primary column, 2 in a primary key column. So whenever we use a foreign key as a reference of primary key, the value of a foreign key must be available in a primary key, or if we put a blank value. So I hope you are understand what are the importance of primary key and foreign key, because if we are connect a 2 different table and find some unique record, we are using a primary key foreign key concept. I hope you are understand, and I hope you are enjoying my this video lecture. Thank you so much.